Route 17 going through Orange County specifically, there's a significant amount of development that's slated for the coming years. Certainly we have the casino further up into Sullivan County. We have possibly Legoland coming to Goshen in the district I represent. And already any summer Friday or Sunday, it's a parking lot on Route 17. There have been some discussions, and I believe a study funded with federal dollars to explore how to increase capacity on Route 17. I believe the study called for a widening to 3 lanes in each direction. I wanted to see if there's been any further conversation on your end to that end, especially in light of the planned development.
Right, so we continue to evaluate that particular corridor because, as you point out, you've got the casino and then potentially Legoland. And you should know, and others should know, that we are working with the developer and the town on the potential of Legoland and looking at improvements that can be made to our system that will create a better flow of traffic should Legoland certainly arrive, which candidly, that's a nice problem to have, right? So we're hopeful that that does happen. We are a partner in those discussions, and the region is actively engaged.
Thank you. So that happens to lead to my next question. I know that as part of these Legoland conversations, they're developing an environmental impact statement, and a concept that I've supported that most people seem to believe locally will help improve the traffic flow on local roads is shifting exit 125 and creating a flyover to the opposite side of Route 17 where Legoland is slated to be. My understanding, and you know, there was a press release that went out from Merlin Entertainment last week. My understanding is that those conversations are moving in a positive direction, I think is fair to say. Can you shed any light on where exactly we are with a flyover and how it impacts the conversion of 17 to an interstate, which has been long planned, and importantly, who is paying for this flyover? Legoland, Merlin Entertainment's already been given $7.1 million in state taxpayer dollars from primarily the RADC awards. They are probably going to get a very significant pilot, which I have deep concerns with and have come out and publicly opposed. I hesitate to give any more public money to a multi-billion-dollar corporation to get this park up and running. So if you can answer that question specifically and also touch on where exactly we are with the flyover.
Well, I can tell you that most developers want somebody else to pay for things.
Sure.
And that's the way it works. We're in discussions with them. They still need to provide us analysis with respect to the property, how they would build it out, the exits, all of the components that would impact the mobility of the traffic flow going in and out. A flyover has been discussed. We're not there. The town's not there. So there's still a lot of discussion that has to go forward.
Okay. What other alternatives would there be to a flyover in terms of improving?
That's going to depend on the traffic analysis that they provide, the continuum of information that we request for them relative to the traffic anticipation that they have, and as we factor in existing traffic flows.
Sure. So have you had any conversations about who's paying for this?
No.
You have not? Okay.
No. I have not been at that table yet. I'm having, the region is working with the town and the engineers on some of these evaluations.
Okay. And lastly, changing gears, late last year, or middle of last year, the Federal Highway Administration came out and directed states, or at least New York, to repurpose these old congressional earmarks from 10 plus years ago and actually use them or lose them. Can you explain to me how that process worked vis-a-vis the municipalities and working with them? You know, I've got some concerns about how this played out. You know, one example, town of Blooming Grove had a $900,000 earmark from former Congresswoman Sue Kelly to make some significant improvements to a dangerous intersection. The DOT, and my understanding is this was coordinated through Albany, not through the regional offices. The DOT came back and basically said, you know, this costs a lot more than $900,000. We're going to move this. And it got moved not even just to somewhere else in the town or somewhere else in the county. It got moved to Rockland County, which I also represent. but to a totally different county. And my understanding is that there wasn't any accommodation or offer to use the award for another project in that municipality. It was sort of just totally shifted away once it was determined that project couldn't be met. So can you explain how that works and what can be done in situations like that?
Well, I can explain it, but not in the time allotment that you have. It's a very complicated process. It's federally driven. So when you cite that the project was moved to Rockland, because the federal government said that the project would need to be shifted only within a 50-mile radius
Right.
of the original project. Many of the projects across the board hadn't gotten local support or funding, and so the federal requirements of the orphan earmarks were such that they could move to an adjacent congressional district if that was a project that fit the criteria under their guidelines. So there's been a lot of discussion and candidly a lot of confusion. I think people felt, and maybe rightfully so, the DOT kind of drew up those rules, but in fact, we followed the federal process that's a requirement.